Hi there, welcome to this week's Weekend Warrior video. I'm Mike Watchmaker, National Handicapper for Daily Racing Form. The three stakes races I'm going to talk about for this week are the Elusive Quality Stakes at Belmont Park, the William Walker Stakes at Churchill Downs, and the Californian at Santa Anita. Let's begin with the Elusive Quality, which I think is a terrific betting race. There are a lot of ways the betting public could go in here, but I went with Conquest Panthera. Conquest Panthera made his debut only a few weeks ago in a two-turn stake race at Aqueduct, and now he suitably cuts back to one turn. This race is at 7 furlongs on the Widener turf course. And I think that cutback in distance really does benefit Conquest Panthera, and I also think he'll benefit from his seasonal debut. The reason why I like him cutting back to a one-turn turf event is he ran very well in a couple of them last year. For example, in his 2017 finale, Conquest Panthera finished a gaining third in the Aqueduct Turf Sprint Championship. That race was won by Rainbow Air, and Rainbow Air came back in his next start and completely dominated the Gulfstream Park Turf with a 105 buyer figure. And earlier last year, over the summer, Conquest Panthera won the Play the King Stakes at Woodbine. This was a strong performance on his part. He came from off the pace at the 7 furlong distance, and he nailed Dowse's Beach, who at that time was red hot and who happened to be a Weekend Warrior pick. And much to my chagrin, Conquest Panthera got the best of them, but it showed what Conquest Panthera could do in one-turn turf sprints, and that's what I want in this kind of spot. I think there's enough pace to set it up for him. I'm looking for Conquest Panthera in the Elusive Quality. Let's move on to the William Walker. That's going to be Saturday night at Churchill Downs with a scheduled post of 10-11. This is 5 furlongs on the turf for 3-year-olds, and it's quite possible that Beckford might be just tons the best in this race, because Beckford last year in Ireland won a Group 2 stakes, finished second in 2 other Group 1 races, and then came to the U.S. for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, and he finished 5th in that race, beat only 2 lengths by Mendelssohn, who's a very hot prospect for next week's Kentucky Derby. It could be Beckford is just way better than these horses, but he is making his first start in almost 6 months, and this will be the first time he encounters the kind of fast early paces that we see in turf sprints in this country. He ran some turf sprints last year in Europe, but those are slow-paced races, and I just don't know how he's going to handle this completely different kind of pace that he's never seen before. I'm going with Masked in here. Masked was switched to turf in his second career start, and he has since won both of his outings, both on the downhill course at Santa Anita. Now, the downhill course is about 6.5 furlongs. It's not anything like a conventional turf sprint in this case, but I do think Masked Southern California speed bodes well for a transition to a conventional turf sprint. I just think he's much better on this surface. I think he's going to be right with this pace from the outside, if not in control with it. And I'm looking for Masked to upset Bedford in the William Walker. Let's wrap this up with the Californian out at Santa Anita. Only a field of 6 in here, and I think Dr. Dorr is a likely winner. And under those circumstances, I would never include a race like this in the Weekend Warrior, but pickings were kind of slim on Saturday. It is the week of the Kentucky Derby stage schedule. And I had something of national interest. And so it's this race, and I'm going to try and beat Dr. Dorr with a horse whose presence in this race just mystifies me, and that's Full of Luck. Now, Full of Luck has made 15 starts in his career, 14 in his native Chile, and most recently in his U.S. debut last month on the San Francisco Mile up at Golden Gate. Every one of those starts were on turf. He's now moving to dirt for this race. Now, Full of Luck is by looking at Lucky out of Hafusaichi Pegasus mare. He really has a dirt pedigree. He's had a couple of really good dirt workouts at Santa Anita since his San Francisco Mile. It could be Full of Luck might really want dirt. Maybe this is what he's been looking for all along. Or it could be that he was entered in this race just to assist the racing office and boost the field to 6 and make it a more interesting race. I think it's interesting. If I put him in this spot, it's intriguing, and Pratt stick with him. I like the 2 solid since his debut. Set for good effort. I'm going to take a little bit of a flop on Full of in the California. That looks for this week's Weekend Warrior. Thanks for watching.